I got blocked by my boss's girlfriend. She screamed at me over the phone, "You're just an employee. Have some boundaries, will you?" Trying to entice your boss after work hours. But I was holding a multi-million-dollar contract that expires tomorrow. I called back. My number was blocked too. Boss unreachable. Company not responding. Next morning, my boss showed up at my door with a company seal. I yawned. "Boss, you're a grown man. Have some boundaries, will you? Showing up at your female employee's house first thing in the morning. That's not appropriate." When I was reporting the final contract terms to my boss, the office door cracked open. His girlfriend, Emma, peeked in. When she saw me, her expression froze. She asked carefully, "Mija, am I interrupting your work?" My hand paused on the contract. My boss froze too. He tried to reach for her, but Emma stepped back, tears rolling down her cheeks. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to doubt you. It's just people say bosses always fall for their capable assistants over time. I'm scared." I said nothing, just closed my notebook. Michael's face turned red, then pale. His voice was shaky. "Emma, don't overthink this. We're just discussing a contract. Don't read into it." "Discussing a contract?" Emma cried harder. "I know Jessica is capable, not like me. I can't help you with anything. I just caused you trouble. But does discussing work really require a closed door?" My boss frowned, looking at crying Emma, then at me. Finally his eyes landed on me with obvious discomfort and a desire to keep the peace. "Jessica, how about you step out for a moment, let me explain to her." I stood up, grabbed my files. "Sure," I said. "But Mr. Wilson from Wilson Corporation is waiting for the final version. If we don't finalize it by 9 a.m. tomorrow, the penalty is 15% of the total project value." I paused, then added, "Mr. Anderson, my salary doesn't include overtime for handling your relationship drama." I opened the door and walked out. Behind me, Michael's face froze and Emma's crying changed pitch. The office fell eerily quiet. An hour later, I finished reviewing every clause word by word and hit send. Michael Anders right after I sent the email, a pair of designer heels stopped by my desk. Emma leaned down, holding Michael's phone. "Jessica, thanks for all your hard work." She waved the phone. Michael left his phone with me. He's worried I'll overthink things. Originally, it was to keep away those desperate women trying to entice my man. "Oh, Jessica, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about you. You're just sending work emails, right?" Her voice wasn't loud, but loud enough for everyone in the office to hear. Suppressed laughter came from the next desk. Someone muttered sarcastically, "TSK TSK. When the real girlfriend comes sniffing around. Some people just have no boundaries, right? 28 years old and already a director just from work. Yeah, right? Who knows what kind of ability she's really good at." I smiled and leaned back in my chair. "Ms. Emma, you use the word husband. Are you two married?" Emma's face turned red. She couldn't speak for a long time. Finally, she just glared at me and stomped away in her heels. The colleagues around me all lowered their heads, pretending to work. I ignored them and focused back on my screen. Time ticked by as the sky outside turned completely dark and everyone left the office. Michael's office door remained shut. The company seal I needed never appeared. At 8 p.m. I called Michael's number. "Hello?" I suppressed my anxiety. "Ms. Emma, please let Mr. Anderson take the call. There's an urgent contract he needs to handle." A light laugh came. "Oh, Director Jessica. Still looking for men to discuss work this late? Our Michael is already asleep." I gripped my phone tighter, my voice turning cold. "This contract involves tens of millions in business. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. is the final deadline. The company can't afford the penalty." "Oh no. What should we do?" "But work is never finished and health comes first. I can't bear to wake him up now." "Director Jessica, you're so capable. I'm sure you can handle it yourself, right?" She hung up. I immediately called back. A cold system message played. "The number you're calling is busy." I tried again. Same message. I'd been blocked. I switched to messaging, sending Michael a text. "Mr. Anderson, Mr. Will Wilson's contract expires at 9 a.m. tomorrow. The company can't afford the penalty. Please call back immediately to approve the seal." A red exclamation mark appeared. "The other party has enabled friend verification. You are not their friend yet." Perfect. I picked up the office phone and called the other executives. The VP's phone rang twice before being hung up. Then a text came in. "Jessica, it's not that I don't want to help, but you know the relationship between Mr. Anderson and Emma. If I call now, it wouldn't be appropriate, right?" The CFO did answer, his voice vague. "Jessica, don't panic. Don't panic. This Mr. Anderson right now." Sigh. "Emma is upset. No matter how big the contract is, it's not big than Mr. Anderson's family matters, right? Just wait. We'll talk tomorrow." "Tomorrow?" "Mr. Davis," I interrupted him. "After 9 a.m. tomorrow we'll be discussing how to pay over 10 million in penalties." Silence on the other end. Then a dry laugh. "I'll think of something." Then nothing. Out of options, I opened the company work group chat. I typed a message and sent it to everyone. Urgent notice to all staff. A multi-million-dollar contract with Wilson Corporation needs the company sealed by 9 a.m. tomorrow or we face massive penalties. Currently unable to reach Mr. Anderson. Any colleague with information please assist. This concerns the company's survival. The group fell silent. A few Michael's profile picture appeared, but it was Emma's tone. "Sister Jessica, I know you mean well for the company, but Michael really isn't feeling well today and needs rest. Sending messages like this so late will worry everyone. Also, this multi-million-dollar contract. I've never heard Michael mention it. Sister, please don't get scammed by outsiders. What if the contract is fake? Michael would feel so bad for you. If the company loses that much money, how could you handle it alone?" Every word was a knife. Before I could reply, gray text appeared at the top of the screen. "You have been removed from the group chat by the administration." For a full minute I stared at the empty space where the group chat had been, the little gray sentence still hovering in my mind like static. "You have been removed from the group chat by the administration." Good. Silence is clean. Silence keeps records loud. I printed the contract, the term sheet, and my call log. Then I opened the compliance drive and pulled up the corporate governance manual, section 6.3.2, alternate custody of company seal in emergency transactions. It required two conditions: 1, potential loss greater than 5 million, and 2, primary custodian unreachable after reasonable efforts. Check and check. It also allowed an interim solution, a written extension executed by counterparties with nominal consideration, witnessed and timestamped, pending ratification when the seal resurfaced. I dialed Will Wilson on my personal phone. He answered on the second ring, voice clipped, awake. Jessica. Mr. Wilson, we're signed on every clause. Only the seal remains. Primary custodian is unreachable due to non-business interference. I'm invoking the emergency extension clause for 12 hours with nominal consideration. A beat of silence. Then a low chuckle. I respect a director who brings me solutions, not excuses. Draft it. I'll have legal review it in 15 minutes. I wrote a one-page extension, 12-hour execution extension and continuation of exclusivity, consideration, $1 in mutual continued good faith, deadline shifted from 9 o'clock to 2100 hours, liquidated damages suspended during the extension window. I included the governance citation and a schedule listing everyone I called, the times, and the words no answer in neat, relentless rows. At 9:41 p.m., Will's counsel countersigned via e-signature with a courier confirmation of original wet ink by 10:20 p.m. I wired the $1 from my own account because compliance is compliance, and sometimes a coin is a shield. Then I sent a single email from my private address to board a company and audit a company with the subject line, notice, emergency transaction preservation, Wilson Corporation no drama, only timestamps, attachments, and the new 2100 hours execution window. CC, legal. BCC, myself. By 11:03 p.m., 2 independent directors replied with short, cold sentences that tasted like steel. Acknowledged. Proceed under section 6.3.2. Keep a contemporaneous log. I slept 3 hours on my couch with my blazer draped over me like a thin idea of warmth. At 6:32 a.m., my doorbell rang, 3 fast, 1 long. Distinctly impatient. I glanced through the peephole and saw the leather case that holds the company seal before I saw the man. Michael Anderson, rumpled, jaw tight. I opened the door halfway and leaned against the frame. Boss, you're a grown man. Have some boundaries, will you? Showing up at your female employee's home before sunrise is not appropriate. He held up the case as if it were a bouquet. I couldn't reach you in the group. Emma, his voice tripped over the name. Emma. Had my phone. I didn't know you'd been removed. I'm here now. Let's stamp it and be done. Not in my doorway, I said. We'll do this at the office. Witnessed. Transparent. And without Emma. He flinched, like I'd turned a light on too bright. She was trying to protect your image, I said. Understood. Get in the car. We reached the building at 7:12 a.m. The security guard signed as witness to the seal's chain of custody, entry time, custodian, reason. Michael's hands shook a little as he wrote. He hadn't slept either. We rode the elevator in silence. On 11, the doors opened to a hush usually reserved for Sundays and layoffs. I unlocked the project war room and flicked on the lights. The contract lay where I'd left it, neatly stacked, tabs marching down the margins in bright colors like rational flags. Michael set the leather case on the table and exhaled. Jessica. About yesterday. Family matters, I said. I heard. His gaze dropped. I didn't ask you to shoulder this alone. No, I said. You didn't ask for anything at all. That was the problem. He winced. Right. I placed the 12-hour execution extension in front of him. We have until 9 p.m. to affix the seal and send the originals to Wilson Corporation. I invoked section 6.3.2 and notified the board at 11:03 p.m. Please initial here that you received the seal case at 6:32 a.m. and here that you're the primary custodian resuming normal authority. He skimmed, I starting. You. Sent the board a notice? Yes, I said, and let the word land. You were unavailable. The company was exposed to 8 figures in penalties. Governance exists for days like yesterday. He nodded once, clipped and grateful in the way men get when gratitude presses on their pride. Good call. We worked. It felt like what work is supposed to be, pages turning, notes becoming final clauses, the kind of quiet that builds instead of breaks. At 7:49 a.m., my inbox pinged with a message from Wilson's counsel, courier en route for final originals. ETA 10:15. Plenty of time, Michael said, almost smiling. Then my screen flashed access denied when I opened the internal stamp register. My permissions had been revoked overnight. I turned the laptop so he could see. He swore softly. I didn't. I know you didn't. I closed the machine and opened the paper register kept in a locked cabinet. Because digital is efficient, paper is permanent. The log was intact. The door handle clicked. Emma stood there in a white coat cinched at the waist, flawless at an hour that forgives no one. Her eyes went to the leather case on the table and then to me. Her chin lifted. I came to help, she said brightly, each syllable coated in something that wasn't sugar. Michael forgot his breakfast. A small paper bag swung from her wrist. The room smelled faintly of oranges and war. Thank you, Emma, Michael said, voice too even. We're in the middle of a sensitive execution. I'll call you when we're done. Her smile didn't move. Of course. I just wanted to make sure nobody took advantage of your kindness. Some people. Overstep. I didn't look up from the register. The only thing being stepped on here is our timeline. Mr. Anderson, please confirm page count, 103 pages, plus exhibits A through F and we'll proceed to seal impressions. Emma's gaze snapped to me. You talk to him like you own him. I talk to him like he's an executive, I said. We speak in verbs and numbers. Color rose along her cheekbones. Michael, outside. Now. He didn't move. His signature crawled across the acknowledgement line. Emma, this is not a conversation. Her eyes glistened. It would have been pretty if it weren't so catastrophically timed. You think she respects you? She's using you, Mike. The group chat, she scared everyone last night with that panic message. What if the contract is fake? What if she gets you sued? Michael's pen stopped. He looked at me. I didn't give him the mercy of a reaction. Mercy is expensive. I slid across the board acknowledgement email and the countersigned extension. We have board oversight and Wilson's legal on this file. We also have a courier on the way. We are either competent or unemployed in 60 minutes. Choose. He chose. His initials landed crisp as a gavel. Emma inhaled like a swimmer about to go under. Then she pulled out his phone. The lock screen recognized her face and opened with an obedient little chime. She scrolled, thumb quick, and I watched in real time as my name disappeared from 2 more internal groups. Removed by administrator. A muscle ticked in Michael's jaw. Give me the phone. No, she said, soft and dangerous. I'm protecting you. He reached. She stepped back. For a second the 3 of us froze like faulty choreography, each waiting for the other to blink. I blinked first, at my own plan, unfolding on schedule. Mr. Anderson, I said, and slid him a printed letter on thick stock, non-interference and workplace conduct acknowledgement. Sign this. It memorializes that any interference with the seal or execution process by non-employees will be documented and escalated to the board under sections 2.1 and 7.4. He read it fast, then slower. The silence turned taut. Emma laughed once, disbelieving. She's making you sign her rules? They're the company's rules, I said. And for the record, Emma, you're not the villain here. But right now you are a variable. We can't afford variables. Something in her expression faltered, like she'd been handed a mirror and didn't like the lighting. She placed the phone on the table. For 2 beats, her fingers hovered over it, not letting go. Then she let go. Michael signed. We affixed the first seal impression at 8:11 a.m., the second at 8:13, each one pressed clean and perfect, raised edges catching the light. I logged the impressions, page, timestamp, custodian, witness. The security guard from downstairs came up to initial. He smelled like coffee and relief. At 8:29 a.m., an email arrived from legal at Wilson Corp, final confirmation call at 8:45, then our courier will collect originals. At 8:31, another email arrived, from unknown at Proton Mail, ceasing Wilson's counsel and our board alias. Subject, red flag, Jessica's contract irregularities. The body contained 3 screenshots of last night's group chat removal, 2 lines out of context from my notice to the board, and a laughably edited PDF purporting to be a different version of the contract with a changed payment schedule. The signature line was blurred, as if someone had tried to forge and then thought better of it. Emma's breath hitched. Michael's face went cold. I didn't touch the mouse. I simply pointed to the footer of the forged PDF on the screen. See this? Wrong font on the page numbers. Ours are Garamond, that's Calibri. And Wilson's letterhead spacing is off by 3 points. Michael's eyes flicked to me, something like faith returning. Can you prove it fast? I nodded, already pulling the document integrity pack I'd assembled at 2:10 a.m. hash values, version history, the courier's signed extension, and the board's acknowledgement chain. I printed the summary page and slid it into the original's envelope. At 8:45 a.m., Will Wilson himself called. I put him on speaker. Morning, he said. I received an anonymous email claiming your director fabricated a contract. Before my counsel hits reply all, I thought I'd ask the people I actually do business with, are we good? I didn't look at Michael. I didn't look at Emma. I looked at the seal, round and patient and true. We're good, I said. Board noticed. Extension executed. Originals stamped. Integrity pack enclosed. Courier in 30. Will left, low and satisfied. That's why we chose you. See you at 9:15. The line clicked off. The room exhaled. Michael spoke first, voice hoarse. Whoever sent that email. Made a mistake, I said. They thought noise could beat paper. Emma stared at the table, then at me. For the first time since I'd met her, her voice came out small. I didn't send that. I know, I said. Your style is louder. Her mouth trembled. She looked at Michael. He didn't look back. I sealed the courier envelope and signed across the flap. The guard initialed. We handed the package to the courier at 10:12 a.m. on the dot, because sometimes miracles wear high-visibility vests and carry clipboards. As the elevator doors closed on the courier, a new email popped into both our inboxes. Subject, emergency board session, 11 a.m. The agenda had 2 items. 1. Ratification, Wilson Corporation contract execution. 2. Conduct review, interference, and governance failures. Michael swallowed. Emma went pale. I straightened the stack of logs until the corners aligned. Part 3, I said, sliding the leather case back toward him, is your turn. The boardroom was 5 degrees colder than the rest of the floor and quiet in the way hospitals are quiet, sterile, humming, watchful. At 11 a.m. the red light on the speakerphone blinked alive and the chair called the session to order. 2 items. We started with the easy one. The secretary read the record. Extension executed at 9:41 p.m., seal affixed at 8:11 and 8:13 a.m., courier pickup at 10:12 a.m., confirmation from Wilson Corp. At 10:37 a.m. ratification passed without ceremony. The chair looked up only once, the way a surgeon glances at a monitor that's finally steady, and said, "Thank you, Director Quinn. Governance exists for results like these." My logbook felt heavier in my hands, like the weight had moved from me into it. Item 2 tasted metallic the moment it began, conduct review, interference, and governance failures. They asked Michael first. Did a non-employee have control of your phone? Yes. Did that non-employee remove a director from mission-critical communication channels? He closed his eyes. Yes. Do you understand that the company seal is a controlled asset? Yes. He didn't flinch when the chair used the word censure. He only nodded once, a man accepting the bill at the end of an expensive meal. IT security joined the call and shared a neat set of facts. The anonymous email was sent through Proton, untraceable at the source. But the forged PDF had been printed at 8:14 a.m. on the 12th floor multifunction printer, job ID 1187, owner badge ending in 04. Printer microdot pattern matched the page attached to the email. Access log showed one badge with that ending used the 12th floor hallway at 8:13. The name attached to that badge belonged to the VP of sales, the same one who couldn't possibly get involved last night. When the chair asked him about it, he said the words people always say when the water is already over their heads: misunderstanding, confusion, too many versions, didn't realize. The chair's tone didn't rise or fall. She suspended him pending termination and referred the matter to counsel. He nodded, mouth open, as if an explanation might still arrive and save him. They turned back to Michael. The censure became formal: loss of comp committee discretion this quarter, mandatory governance training, outside coach, a written commitment to keep non-employees away from company systems, and a probationary oversight period where any critical transaction would be shepherded by a 3-person committee that included legal, an independent director, and me as the execution lead. He took each condition the way a patient takes stitches, without argument, with a look that promises not to tear them out later. Then the chair addressed me. Director Quinn, you acted within Section 6.3.2 and preserved a material transaction. Do you require anything from this board to complete your work effectively? I could hear the rustle of paper up and down the line as people shifted. I kept my voice level. 2 things. First, a formal designation of a secondary seal custodian and a redundant digital register controlled by compliance, not by operations. Second, a policy that after-hours mission-critical requests must go through a single escalation channel monitored by legal and the audit chair, not personal phones. The chair didn't ask me why. She'd already seen the why. Approved. Draft the memo with legal by end of day. When the call ended, the room didn't immediately refill with air. Michael remained seated, staring at his hands. Emma, who'd sat silently against the wall through the whole session, stood and smoothed the belt of her coat as if she could iron yesterday out of it. For a second she looked like she might speak to him first. She didn't. She approached me instead. I didn't send the fake, she said, voice small and raw in a way that sounded new on her. I am angry. Insecure. Loud. All of it. But I didn't try to ruin your work. I know, I said. That didn't look like you. She blinked. What do I look like? Someone who wants to be sure she matters, I said. But this place can't be where you prove it. Her mouth trembled. She nodded. When she turned to Michael, she didn't ask for permission or forgiveness. She only put his phone on the table. You should change your passcode, she said, and left. The floor woke up while we were still in that room. Keys tapped. Someone laughed down the hall, too loudly, like noise could wipe memory. Word travels in offices faster than truth, but truth had a head start for once. As I returned the seal to the vault, security logged it with a care that felt like apology. At noon, Will Wilson called from a number that started with a country code and the sound of a runway. Just wanted to say thank you, Director. We value partners who refuse to invent excuses. I told my team to remember your name. Remember the policy, too, I said. Our new one doesn't let us depend on a single person's alarm clock. He laughed. Good. That's how grown companies behave. See you next week. After lunch, legal and I drafted the memo in precise, unsentimental language. Secondary seal custodian designated. Digital register mirrored and locked to compliance. After-hours escalation funneled through a central line that archives every call and text. No more private rescues. No more myths about who's reachable. I sent it to the board at 3:06 p.m. and to the whole company at 3:11 p.m., with a cover note that didn't congratulate or scold, only explained. At 4 p.m., HR slid an envelope across my desk with a quiet ceremony of an oath. Title changed to head of transactions. A retention grant vesting over 4 years. An explicit clause that authorized me to escalate directly to the audit chair in emergencies without waiting for permission. I read it through twice. It didn't feel like a gift. It felt like the tools I should have had yesterday. At 5:20 p.m., Michael knocked on my open door. He looked like a man who'd learned the shape of silence. I'm sorry, he said. Not just for last night. For asking you to make the business work while I failed at the basics. Fix the basics, I said. People will do the rest. He nodded. Emma and I. We're going to take space. She's not the villain. But I let the line vanish. He placed a small box on my desk. Inside was a new security token, still in plastic, and a note in his handwriting, redundant, centralized, documented. The corners of my mouth thought about becoming a smile. They didn't quite get there. The day emptied itself into evening. I walked the envelope of wet ink originals to the archive room, logged them, and watched as the box slid onto the shelf where it would outlive everyone's opinions. Paper doesn't need you to believe in it. It just needs you to sign. When I finally shut down my computer, my reflection hovered in the black screen for a second like a watermark. The group chats had been restored. The sidebar showed my name where it belonged. I archived the threads that didn't matter and pinned the ones that did. Then I set my phone to do not disturb, with one exception, the new escalation line. On the way out, I passed the 12th floor printer. Someone had taped a sheet above it. All print jobs are logged. Smile. I didn't laugh, but I did feel the building straighten its spine a little. Outside, the air was mild in the way the city rarely is, like the weather had decided to cooperate just this once. I bought a sandwich from the cart on the corner and ate it on a bench while the traffic arranged itself into order and disorder, the way it always does. My phone stayed quiet in my bag. Noise is fast. Paper is permanent. Boundaries are, too, once you write them down and sign. Tomorrow there would be another contract and more people, with all their bright, clumsy wants. Tonight I wanted exactly what I'd said I wanted. 3 meals, peace, freedom, and distance from complicated stories that weren't mine to fix. I threw away the wrapper, stood, and walked home without checking over my shoulder.